What's up, everybody? It's Soren Baker here on Unique Access Entertainment. As always, please hit that subscribe button. It's right there. It's free, as always. So please subscribe to Unique Access Entertainment. We want to keep bringing you guys these interviews as often as possible with as many people as possible. Please hit that subscribe button, like our content, share it. Each one, teach one. Let one of your friends know and have them subscribe so we can keep growing and keep coming to you guys. Now, today we have the honor and privilege of being joined by the mighty General Jeff. Thank you for coming through, sir.
Hey, what's up, Soren? How you doing? Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Man, we got a lot to talk about today, and I know we're already going to have to do a part 2 because there's a lot to get to. But
part 2? You mean part 3 and 4? I mean, it's like 4 quarters.
Yeah. Well, if we got to do it, we got to do it. Now, for me, getting first exposed to you way back in the day was with the Bobby, Jimmy, and the Critters on the Roaches album.
Okay.
The beginning. That's where I first heard of you.
Okay.
But I know, there's even stuff before. So explain where, you were born and raised and how you got into the game.
Yeah, first I want to say, because a lot of folks is like, I thought Soren only has like name brand cats on. Like, who's this dude? Well, for those that don't know, when it comes to West Coast hip hop, I am day one. I was there. Put it like this: if folks want to check my resume, and I'm just the cat that's behind the scenes. I've always been behind the scenes on a whole bunch of major acts and major situations that folks don't even know that I was there. Some folks forgot, but that's why I'm like, well, before I die, let the record reflect. Let me come forward, and so it's cats going around writing books and rewriting history and falsifying facts, and so I'm like, let me come forward and put my truths and help with the hip hop timeline. So for future generations, folks will always know exactly what it is. I'm a cat that I don't have no reason to lie. I'm not here to get paid. I love hip hop. And, if you in the hip hop and you come in the game after Eminem, I don't know you, like nothing personal. But if anybody before Eminem, oh yeah, you know what it is. So I just wanted to get that disclosure out there, Soren. But for me personally, and even though I know I'm still, my MySpace page say I'm looking 24, 25. But I'm born and raised in, in South Central Los Angeles. You see the LA hat, whoop. You know what I mean? It's like, Lakers, Dodgers, Raiders. A lot of cats don't understand, like, growing up in the streets in the 70s and 80s. The 80s was the greatest era in the history of LA, hands down. And I'll get into that in a minute. But, me, born and raised in South Central LA, Crenshaw District, graduated from Crenshaw High School, played basketball, state champion in basketball my senior year. My teammate John Williams went on to play in the NBA 12 seasons. And, hey, we ball. I got to Crenshaw right after Darryl Strawberry, the great, went to the Yankees and, went to the Mets first, winning World Series in 1986 with Doc Gooden, all that. And, future Hall of Famer. It's legends, Ice-T, it's a whole, man, that whole era, the streets was just packed with just, name brand cats and just energy, just real ones. That set the tone for hip hop when hip hop was born. But before that, when I say the 80s was the greatest hip hop, the greatest era in the history of Los Angeles, it starts like just the culture, just the streets, the sports, the Lakers, we won 5 rings. In 80, 82, 85, 87, and 88. And then we went 4 other times, but we lost. But still, it's like every year the Lakers was there. As soon as Magic Johnson got off the plane, I greeted him at the Forum personally, like, this dude here we go. We already got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the greatest ever to do it, and then we had Jamal Wilkes that just won in 76 with the Golden State Warriors. And now it's Norm Nixon. Man, we squad and we balled up. And, the 80s. So then in the Dodgers in 81 and 88, obviously we just won this year too. Same thing with the Lakers 2028. So you see I got my Dodger hat, but with his gold trim Lakers, Dodgers, word, and my Raiders squad. You know what I mean? Because in 1984, the Raiders had moved to LA in 1984. We won a Super Bowl. And so, LA was, we winning. City of champions. We out in the streets. Then you got to look at, it is what it is, because LA is the gangbang capital of the world. So when crack cocaine hit the streets, it was a lot of young cats with money hustling out there in them streets. It was already street hustling on all, hitting all kind of licks. But when the dope came in, you had a lot of youngsters with pockets full of money, just money flowing. And then hip hop came in, and it grew up from, DJs playing the records and throwing parties to cats actually making records. And so when you got all this energy out in the streets, man, LA was popping. It was amazing energy, can't be described. And between the dances at the Uncle Jam's Army functions was my original crew. And I'm gonna start my hip hop timeline from there, leading into Bobby G and the Curtis, where you was talking about. But yeah, from all of that, and then the style of clothing, the trendy gear was females wearing the biker shorts. Oh man, it's sexiness everywhere you go. Venice Beach. So Uncle Jam's Army, and so I saw a video last night online, and somebody else was claiming that they copyrighted the name of Street Team. They own the name, they invented it. It's like 81. That's just again, like I said when I started off on my disclosure, a lot of cats rewriting history. Bruh, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. You didn't. Uncle Jam's Army did that, bro. Like, stop it. Stop it. That's what I'm saying. It's like a cat. That's why I got to come forward, Soren. A lot of cats don't understand. Like, man, Dad, stop rewriting histories. Don't tell that lie. It's cats still alive that was there. You wasn't there, bro. You definitely wasn't in the LA street. You wasn't in the hood like that. Uncle Jam's Army did that. It's like a lot of people don't know the history about Uncle Jam's Army. Started off in the 70s. It was Unique Dreams Entertainment, UDE. And when Parliament Funkadelic, George Clinton, came out with the Uncle Jam Wants You album, play on Uncle Sam Wants You, and that iconic album cover, and so it was Uncle Jam's Army. Like, yo, that's a dope name. And then rest in peace, Roger Clayton, the mastermind of Uncle Jam's Army. He's hey, let's switch the name up. We got to roll with Uncle Jam's Army. And so it's funny because then we got it. First it was we need to change it up though, because at first it went out just how I spelled with one M, Uncle Jam's. Then it was like, we might get sued because we started blowing up, getting popular. And then so technically, I know I was not in Uncle Jam's at that time, but so 79 going into 80, and so let's add two M's so we don't get sued by George Clinton. But then come to find out, George Clinton was cool with it. He's like, yo, as long as it's funky, run with it. Like, hey, love that dude, man. God, all blessings to the funk god, George Clinton. And so this is the story. So yeah, I'm telling secondhand information on the very, very beginning of Uncle Jam's Army. And so, but the cats to promote the dances, print up some flyers and go pass out flyers hand to hand. So we, again, we talking about that era with all that sexiness. So we'll hit the mall, whether it was, Fox Hills Mall, the Hawthorne Mall, Venice Beach. We had coverage. You had so many cats. Here, you take a stack of flyers and go that way. You take a stack of flyers. So we street teaming. Then when it got to the point we putting up the posters, in the middle of the night, we'll just go flood the streets. And the people was walking by when it was yesterday to the next day they come out. You see Uncle Jam's Army posters everywhere. And we'll have to drive up in the van, folks, and jump up on there and pinka, 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 pinka. Then cats is racing. I'll hit the telephone pole on this side, hit the telephone pole. We pinka, pinka, pinka. Then we go to the next place and we just bam, bam, blanket the whole city. That was street teaming, but we didn't give it a name. We didn't claim ownership. We just out there doing it. We hustling. That's what we was doing. We hanging, we passing out flyers, we hanging posters. That's all it was. And we enjoyed doing it because we know the folks gonna come, we know the sexy ladies gonna come, and we gonna have the livest function in LA. That's what Uncle Jam's Army was based on. So these cats come years later talking about they copyrighted the name Street Team. Like, you didn't copyright it and then put it into effect. Like, I've got an idea. Like, no, we was already, come on, bro. And then like some other folks said online, I mean, there's promotions, like record companies were promoting albums going way, but whether it's in the record stores or what have you, but out in the streets, Uncle Jam's Army behind them, again, the mastermind of Roger Clayton, we put it down. And so then in my era, that's how I got on. So I used to go to the Uncle Jam's Army dances. I'm one of the baddest pop lockers in the streets. And so Uncle Jam's Army was where they played the great music that, the stuff, the radio wasn't playing. And, it's just the hood energy. And so that's where the function was, and all the baddest poppers would be there. And that's where the fun was. So, and then from there it went to
So how did you get going from a dancer to being part of Uncle Jam's Army itself?
Great question. That's where I was going. And so, um, just loving the energy, loving the music. And I'll never forget the first time I saw Egyptian Lovers spin. And, it went from, pop lock, I know the music, just have an ear for music because I was a DJ in my own right in the hood. I was DJ Jeff. I wasn't thinking about nothing. It's just a basic name. And so when I would go to Uncle Jam's dances, I'm in there to have fun. And then to hear this, this dude, I'm hearing the music and I know that song doesn't go that way. Like I know how the song goes. It breaks down, it comes back up, and then it's doing something different. Wait, what version of the record is that? I had the 12-inch, I got the album version. What's going on there? So I had, go over there to the DJ booth to try to get a glimpse of it. Like, what special version do y'all have? And then come to find out it's this dude with his turntable tricks, blending records and, with his fingers spinning records backwards. And I'm mesmerized, like, yo, wait a minute. Because, when I started DJing, it was on belt drive turntables. It wasn't no pullback. You wrecked I wrecked one of my mama turntables. She mad at me to this day about that. But anyway, so then when direct drive came, techniques to, you can pull it back. And so that changed the game. And I didn't have that kind of equipment. And so I remember me and my boy down the street, rest in peace, Kev, we was trying to piece together just to get some turntables. So anyway, I don't want to reminisce and take up the whole hour talking about while I'm reminiscing of my personal history. I can do that in the shower. But, so anyway, it went from that. And so from there, I just became, just infatuated by these new style of turntables. What is the name? What turntables are those? My turntables don't do that. And then come to find out Techniques 1200, because they had another number, Techniques 800 or 900, that didn't do what the 1200 did. And so that was my goal. Oh, if I get a couple of 1200s, oh man, Newmark, Michigan. It's on. And so my desire went from there. And so then from me hanging around the Uncle Jim's Army crew, and then shortly after that, they opened up the record store called the DJ Booth on Slauson and Western, which was in my hood right down the street from where I grew up. And so it was easy for me to get to. And back then I was on the bus and I see it look like it's going down. They put one big speaker outside and bing, back door. I'm getting off the bus, go over there and just hang out and befriended some guys. And, just became one of the crew. And this was while I was still going to Crenshaw. I'm a teenager. And it's funny, I look back, it's like, it was a lot of kids hanging. I look around like today, like, where did the kids hang out? And like, especially when it's hip hoppers, because I'm like, we were so talented as far as DJing, then later on making beats and just this young energy. If it wasn't for Uncle Jam's Army, I don't know what we would be doing, but it's so much lost opportunity. And I can imagine to this day, there are no record stores no more. Where did the aspiring DJs go hang out or talk music, or I don't know. And, I'd be interested to see what the youngsters do. I guess they just all trying to get in somebody's studio or home studio, somebody's garage or something, but it's different because it's isolated as opposed to anybody could just pull up. But, and so then from there, and then so now by this time it's 1983. And in 83, Run DMC came out with It's Like That, What? And That's the Way It Is. And oh my God, like all of a sudden from there, I wanted to start rapping. And it was like, I just liked Run. Run was my favorite MC. And so then Uncle Jam's Army came out with a record. And so the next thing you know, we had this big dance coming up where it was Run DMC, Curtis Blow, Houdini, Jekyll and Hyde, rest in peace, Andre Harrell. And I remember me and the cats from Uncle Jim's Army, we were going to dress alike, go to and look in our military parachute pants or whatever we was going to wear. And I didn't know that they had already, so Egyptian Lover produced a record for Bobby Jimmy. Bobby Jimmy was from up north, and he came down and was on air at 1580 AM. And, so he was the morning guy, and his thing, a lot of people don't know, but he was the morning guy, just people waking up, going to work. He would just tell jokes and get people live and loose and to have a good day. And so his stick was that he would, you know, as Bobby, you know, like, he was Russ Park, but he would have like different voices and characters that would like Frank, like fake call in and do these skits, but it's really him doing different voices. And so his most popular character was Bobby Jimmy. And so from there, he had him and Lance and from West Hollywood and a whole bunch of other folks.
Be sure to check out The History of Gangster Rap by Soren Baker. He's official.
History of Gangster Rap features exclusive interviews with Ice-T, Snoop Dogg, MC Ren, the DOC, and dozens of others. The History of Gangster Rap, a definitive look at how Los Angeles changed rap forever.
In Los Angeles, the streets definitely set the tone of the hip-hop music.
At 19, I got a $50,000 car.
My whole angle always was, I'll be street, but I will always tell you the horrors that go along with this life.
It would be penalties and casualties for just wearing the wrong color in somebody's neighborhood.
And once gangster rap made it from the streets to the TV, the genre exploded.
With Fab 5 on your TV back with NWA.
Yo MTV, it just catapulted us from being local heroes to national gangbang rappers.
The History of Gangster Rap discusses it all from 1980 up till today.
It's always gonna be shit happening in the streets. You know what I mean? So it's always gonna be something to talk about.
The History of Gangster Rap in stores now.